and concerns over sleeper cells here in the United States. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Live from Michigan Avenue, this is Good Day Chicago.
Good morning and welcome to Good Day Chicago. Here's a look at some of the stories we're following this Tuesday morning. Developing right now, a shooting involving a Chicago police turns deadly. The latest on that investigation. President Trump gives an update on the war with Iran and issues a threat over oil production. And today is a day to make sure to be weather aware. We are expecting some strong storms a little bit later in the areas. We're checking in with Caitlin Cody this morning. Caitlin, what is the timing on these strong storms potentially later today?
This afternoon, this evening, and into tonight. But before we get to those storms, we actually have a dense fog alert in effect for our western areas, DeKalb County, Kane County, McHenry until 11 a.m. this morning, a dense fog advisory. So be aware that you might see that fog close to ground, and it might slow you down to start off the day, especially the further west you go away from Chicago. Checking in on the visibilities right now. That's where we have visibilities down to a 10th mile, under a quarter there in Aurora, Woodstock, 0.4 miles visibility. But even at the lakefront, you could see those clouds hanging low. Looking at our satellite radar picture, it's quiet this morning outside of that fog, but to Brian's point, we have the chance for severe weather later on today, especially after about 3 to 4 p.m. on through this evening and tonight. So have multiple ways to receive warnings. Temperatures are going to be dropping today. Right now, we're sitting in the upper 50s and low 60s, but we're actually going to be down into the 40s when we should be at our peak for the day. Our Storm Prediction Center's outlook for today still includes I-88 points south and that level 3 out of 5 risk for severe storms. And then north of the city, talking about this yellow shade, that's a slight risk or a level 2 out of 5 for severe weather. So again, we all have the chance for damaging wind, damaging hail, and also tornadoes this afternoon, this evening, and tonight. I'll time it out for you ahead. Brian.
There's an investigation after a deadly police-involved shooting in the Humboldt Park neighborhood. This is video from the scene from the Citizen app. It happened just before 6 last night near Holman and Chicago Avenue. Police said that they stopped a vehicle that was wanted in connection to a possible shooting earlier in the day. That led to a chase between the police and the vehicle suspect and the suspect's vehicle. During the pursuit, a woman was hit along with a CTA bus and an unmarked squad car. An officer then shot the driver, who later died at the hospital. 2 officers had minor injuries. COPA is now investigating. Well, President Trump insists that Operation Epic Fury is ahead of schedule and the war will end, quote, very soon. It comes amid new strikes in Tehran. The city was hit with 20 explosions yesterday, marking the heaviest air raid since the beginning of the conflict. The war has essentially stopped traffic in the Strait of Hormuz, which transits roughly a fifth of the global oil supply. President Trump issued a stern warning to Iran.
I will not allow a terrorist regime to hold the world hostage and attempt to stop the globe's oil supply. And if Iran does anything to do that, they'll get hit at a much, much harder level.
Senate Democrats are demanding a public hearing on the United States' involvement in the ongoing conflict with Iran. The 7th U.S. service member killed in the conflict with Iran was brought home in a dignified transfer at Dover Air Force Base. 26-year-old Sergeant Benjamin Pennington of Kentucky died on Sunday after sustaining injuries on March 1st in an attack by Iran at an air base in Saudi Arabia. Vice President J.D. Vance joined top military officials in Delaware. President Trump was not there. A man is facing charges after a shooting at a CTA Red Line station over the weekend. It happened early Sunday at the 79th Street station. Police say that a group got into an argument and it escalated to gun violence. 18-year-old Maurice Dodd was arrested and charged. 2 men were seriously wounded. The group Violence Interrupters gave out pizza and flyers to riders yesterday, letting them know they'll be riding and will be vigilant.
PCAs are overall safe to a degree. We would like to let everybody know also if we were present, there's a chance we could have de-escalated that particular situation.
The CTA is being ordered to come up with an aggressive crime reduction plan by the 19th of this month, or lose $50 million in federal funding. 2 people are facing felony charges following allegations of child abuse in Fox Lake. 34-year-old Priscilla Marshall and 35-year-old Cody Marion. They're accused of abusing an 11-year-old boy over multiple years. That boy was found wandering by himself last Friday, wearing only his underwear and also had visible injuries. Police said that the boy was allegedly hit with household objects, had dish soap poured in his mouth and ears, and was not allowed to go to school. 2 other children were found unharmed in the home. 2 others were at school at the time. Well, Chicago police are investigating a River North restaurant and bar. Early yesterday morning, police say a 35-year-old man was killed after being pushed down the stairs at the Hubbard Inn. It started when a 32-year-old man got involved in a fight with a group of other people. Police said that the 35-year-old tried to intervene and was pushed by the other man, causing him to fall down the stairs. The 32-year-old was taken into custody and charges are now pending. Well, lines at security checkpoints continue to stretch for hours at airports all over the country. This is video from Houston's Hobby airports. The delays are a result of the TSA staffing shortages amid the partial government shutdown, specifically impacting the Department of Homeland Security. Some airports reported more than 3-hour delays at checkpoints over the weekend and are now advising travelers to arrive 4 to 5 hours before their flights.
We are in a shutdown right now because we have a rogue and reckless organization.
Why aren't we funding the Department of Homeland Security so people can travel freely, so we can have commerce, so people can go? This is a direct shot at the American people.
Funding for the department lapsed in mid-February after a standoff between Republicans and Democrats over federal immigration reform. Right now, about 50,000 TSA screeners are working without pay. This week marks their second missed paycheck. Well, the Bears are adding a few key pieces on the defensive side of the ball, but none of these deals will be official until Wednesday. The Bears added safety Kobe Bryant from the Super Bowl champion Seahawks. It is reportedly a 3-year deal worth $40 million. Right now, it's unknown if the Bears will be bringing back either safety Kevin Byard or Jaquan Brisker. Here's a look at some of the other moves the Bears made yesterday. They added linebacker Devin Bush after he had a breakout season with the Cleveland Browns. They also added depth on the D-line, signing former Colts Neville Gallimore. The Bears also bringing back some players from last year's roster, including DeMarco Jackson, Case Keenum, and Daniel Hardy. Time now for a live look outside. Things look very calm out there to start this Tuesday morning, Caitlin, but that could change in a big way later this afternoon.
That's right. This morning, the only issue that we have in the forecast is some dense fog close to ground. A dense fog advisory is in place from DeKalb County to McHenry to Kane County until 11 this morning. 4 drops in visibility, so expect delays there if you run into the fog. But for the rest of us, it's actually a quiet start to our day, just those few clouds. Temperatures right now are hovering in the upper 50s and low 60s for most spots. I see 60 degrees at O'Hare, 58 at the lakefront, 55 in DeKalb, 56 at LaSalle. These temperatures are actually expected to drop today in Chicago down into the 40s by this afternoon. Later this morning, the clouds will start to thicken up, temperatures hovering in the 50s for most spots. And this is 4:15, seeing those temperatures, as mentioned, down into the 40s for us in Chicago, but warmer temperatures south. 73 degrees in Kankakee at 4:15, 67 at LaSalle, but the low 40s for our northern counties. We have a frontal boundary that is going to be draped across Chicagoland. And with that, we do have the potential for severe storms for all of us, with the best chance for tornado activity to be along and south of roughly I-80. 9:15 this evening. So if you're in bed tonight, make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings, because as you can see, we have thunderstorms scattered throughout Chicagoland. The potential for severe weather exists around 2 to 3 p.m. this afternoon until roughly around 1 a.m. with the chance tomorrow morning for locations south of I-80 to continue with that severe threat into early tomorrow. Talking about early tomorrow, this is 2 a.m. You can see those temperatures are still in the 40s for Chicago, but still holding on to the 60s south of the city. And then tomorrow around 7:30, we still have scattered rain showers. We could see some localized flooding into early tomorrow. This is midday with temperatures ranging in the 30s and 40s. And with that, you might actually see some snowflakes mixing in, especially north of the city. So we have a busy transition here to winter-like conditions for your Wednesday. And then heading into the end of the week, Thursday is looking pretty quiet with some gusty winds expected Thursday night. And you can see these temperatures are going to be dropping down into the 20s before we even get there. So all of us today, Brian, need to be weather aware, especially this afternoon on through the evening and tonight. Back to you.
Coming up, a school prank in Georgia ends in tragedy when a math teacher is killed. We'll explain why his family wants the charges dropped.
Richard Boykin and I approve this message.
Now on Good Day Chicago, there's an investigation after a deadly police-involved shooting in the Humboldt Park neighborhood. This is video from the scene from the Citizen app. It happened just before 6 p.m. last night near Holman and Chicago Avenue. Police shot and killed the driver of the vehicle following a pursuit. The vehicle that they were chasing was possibly connected to a shooting earlier in the day. 2 people are facing felony charges following allegations of child abuse in Fox Lake. 34-year-old Priscilla Marshall and 35-year-old Cody Marion are accused of abusing an 11-year-old boy over multiple years. The boy was found wandering by himself last Friday, wearing only his underwear, and he also had physical injuries. A 7th U.S. service member in the Middle East has been identified. 26-year-old Sergeant Benjamin Pennington of Kentucky died on Sunday after sustaining injuries on March 1st in an attack by Iran at an air base in Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, President Trump insists that Operation Epic Fury is ahead of schedule, that the war will end, quote, very soon. 2 Pennsylvania men are in custody after police said they threw homemade explosives during a protest in New York City. It happened on Saturday near the home of New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani. Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch says that the 2 men are being investigated for ISIS-inspired terrorism. The devices were filled with nuts and bolts and did not explode. They were hurled during counter-protests against an anti-Islamic demonstration.
New York City will never tolerate violence, whether from protests or counter-protests. Many of the counter-protesters met this display of bigotry peacefully, with a vision of a city that is welcoming to all. But a few did not. 2 men, Amir Balat and Ibrahim Qayyumi, traveled from Pennsylvania and attempted to bring violence to New York City. They are suspected of coming here to commit an act of terrorism.
The 2 have been charged with attempting to provide support to a terrorist organization and using a weapon of mass destruction. A Florida woman is facing charges of attempted murder after allegedly firing shots towards singer Rihanna's California home. 35-year-old Ivana Ortiz was arrested. Police say that she drove up to the property and opened fire with an AR-style rifle. Bullet holes could be seen in the home's front gate. Rihanna was home at the time but was not injured. The motive is still not known. The family of a Georgia teacher is now asking for leniency after a prank went tragically wrong. Sheriff's deputies say that a group of seniors went to the home of math teacher Jason Hughes on Friday night to toilet paper his yard. When Hughes caught them, they tried to take off in their cars. But that's when Hughes tripped and fell into the path of one of the vehicles and was hit and killed. An 18-year-old driver is now charged with vehicular homicide, but the teacher's family is now asking for the charge to be dropped. They say that this incident is a terrible tragedy, but that they don't want this to ruin the lives of the students.
The fact that the victim's family is coming out and saying this is something that you don't see very often, especially in a case where someone has died. It really shows the relationship and the ultimate, the lack of intent from the students and the relationship between the students and the teacher.
2 other students are facing misdemeanor charges in the case. The Justice Department has reached a settlement in its antitrust lawsuit against Ticketmaster and its parent company, Live Nation. The DOJ had claimed an illegal monopoly over live events across the country. Despite the settlement, 27 attorneys general will continue their lawsuits against Live Nation and have filed a motion for a mistrial. Time is now 4:46 this morning. Turning back to our forecast with Caitlin. Still a little bit warm out there, but we also got some fog to deal with, too.
Yeah, temperatures this morning are going to be very mild. We're sitting in the upper 50s and low 60s for many of us. 58 degrees at the lakefront, 60 at O'Hare. A little bit cooler there in Aurora at 51 and about 60 from Kankakee to Merrillville. But we do have the potential for fog development, and a dense fog advisory is in place until 11 this morning for western areas, including Kane County, DeKalb County, and McHenry County. We're seeing visibilities under a quarter mile right now. Today, though, is going to be a busy day. Once that fog is not an issue, all attention will be on the potential for severe storms from this afternoon on through this evening, tonight, and even early tomorrow. So high temperatures today, I do expect for Chicago to have already happened. I do think that by this afternoon, we're going to be in the 40s as a frontal boundary starts to shift south. You can see southern locations, temperatures expected to climb into the 70s again today. So we do have the chance for all of us in Chicagoland for strong to severe thunderstorms, and that's going to continue into tonight as well. So my main message for you is to have multiple ways to receive warnings from around 2 to 3 p.m. on through tonight and early tomorrow, because we all have that chance for severe weather. I'll time it out for you on the maps and talk about the threats included ahead. Brian.
A Chicago family is issuing a plea after their dog was stolen right from their backyard. That's still to come this morning. A local family is begging for their French bulldog to return after it was stolen right from their home. The dog has now been missing for more than 2 weeks. Artia Ewing has more on why the thief may have targeted the pup.
They will follow each other. So if Carson, which is my parents' dog, was actually on the street, he had to go through someone's yard. Pico has to be not too far from him, not too far from behind him.
The dogs got out because of a simple mistake.
This is a gate that was mistakenly left open by my dad. And so the two dogs, they went out the alley and actually ran down in this direction.
Pico hasn't been seen since February 21st in the 300 block of East 136th Place in Chicago.
He's like our child. Like, he's literally with us all the time.
He spends a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like, I take him everywhere. I take him to work, when I work all through the day.
Ruth Full-Wiley was out of town with her husband, Rafael Landa, when family members were dog sitting. The family's Pomeranian, Carson, also got out, but was later found at the end of the block. Pico hasn't been seen since that day.
So I believe either someone had to pick Pico up in this alley or going through someone's backyard.
The family believes someone may have taken the 30-pound Frenchie. Ring cameras at the home only captured part of the yard, and neighbors' cameras didn't store any video. For now, the search continues with flyers going up across the neighborhood.
We've been putting flyers and everything up, going door to door, questioning everyone, but to this date, no one has called or seen them.
There is a $3,000 reward for the dog's return. The statistics aren't good. French bulldogs are the most stolen breed in the United States.
The resale market on these dogs can be anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000. So people could steal a French bulldog and easily turn around and sell it for $3,000 or more. If the dog, for some reason, is not neutered or spayed, that dog also they could look at as an opportunity to breed that dog and make more money off of puppies as well.
The dog also isn't neutered, which makes him an even more valuable target for thieves looking to sell him. The family is now offering a $3,000 reward for his safe return. Anyone with information is urged to call 773-358-8217. Tia Ewing, Fox Chicago.
Though I did.
All right, time is now 4:52 this morning. Caitlin, I was just reading your weather update that you send every morning.
Oh, my email.
You got a little of everything literally happening today. We got fog, we got some severe storms, and possibly even some snow in some places.
It is
goodness gracious.
So busy.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's break it down for you. This morning, it is relatively quiet. As Brian was just talking about the fog, really, that's the only headline for the start of the day. Temperatures are mild. We're in the 50s and 60s this morning, but temperatures in Chicago are going to be dropping today down into the 40s this afternoon. As far as fog goes, dense fog advisory in place for western areas, including DeKalb County, Kane County, and McHenry. But again, if you're just looking at the temperatures and current conditions, it is generally quiet this morning with temperatures hovering around 60 degrees for us. Talking about today, though, we do have the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms starting around 2 to 3 p.m. on through tonight. The best chance is going to ramp up, especially this evening around 6 to 7 p.m. on until about midnight or 1 in the morning, with the chance for severe weather even into early tomorrow if you live southeast or south of I-80. Generally speaking, you can see that line across the area. There's I-80. So let's talk about our futurecast and show you the timing here. First of all, it is going to be a dreary day, and the temperature spread is going to be large. I mentioned how I do expect temperatures to be dropping down into the 40s for us in Chicago, but location south, you are going to be in the 60s and 70s. Talking about that chance for severe storms, I mentioned how that potential is going to start this afternoon on through this evening. Our model is showing 8:15, those thunderstorms rolling through. 10 o'clock still with some strong thunderstorm potential. Now, I will say this too. 10 o'clock, you might be sleeping. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings so you can be woken up. You can sign up on our Fox 32 weather app, by the way, and pick which warnings and alerts you want sent to your phone. Heading into early tomorrow, this is midnight, still with thunderstorm activity. And then we could actually have not only the chance for tornadoes, especially south of I-80, damaging wind, damaging hail for all of us, and also flooding. So when this rain is coming down so heavy later this evening, tonight, early tomorrow, we have the chance for flash flooding. This is 6:45 in the morning. We still have showers around, so you could see delays tomorrow morning driving to work. 10:45 heading towards the lunchtime hour, and we still have quite a bit of wet weather heading on into the later part of the day, actually, north of the city. You saw that touch of blue. We could see a rain-snow mix as winter returns to Chicago. Temperatures will be dropping. You can see that northerly flow. We'll take a look at your full forecast, including your 7-day. We have more rounds of rain expected next week, starting off in the 20s. All those details coming up.
Fox Local.
The White House is now clarifying a threat from President Trump to not sign any legislation until Congress passes the SAVE Act. The bill would require Americans to re-register to vote and end the filibuster. A White House spokesperson says that the president's threat does not apply to a potential funding bill for the Department of Homeland Security. Artificial intelligence company Anthropic is suing the Pentagon after being labeled a supply chain risk. The company argues the Trump administration's designation violates its First Amendment rights and illegally blacklists a U.S. firm over policy disagreements about surveillance and autonomous weapons. Pentagon officials defend the move, arguing that it is about maintaining control over technology used in operations. A plaque honoring law enforcement officers who served during the attack on the U.S. Capitol is now installed after 3 years full of delays. 2 officers who defended the Capitol from January 6 rioters have sued since the sign was supposed to go up after Congress passed a law mandating its installation. The memorial has a QR code sign that leads to a 45-page document listing the thousands of names of officers who responded to the Capitol that day.
I'm Richard.